好，首先歡迎大家嚟到我哋 Tech Con 第3場嘅 workshop 啦。咁其實據我所知，其實登記嘅人咧其實唔少嘅，但因為佢哋都比較多臨時嘅會議啊，或者 ad hoc 嘅 task， 咁就嚟唔到。但唔緊要，我哋係有網上面嘅，我哋會錄影啦，會擺翻上網，就俾翻廣大嘅，即係有興趣 review 翻嘅人都會睇得到嘅。係啦，咁首先講一講啦，我哋今年 Tech Con 咧咁就聚焦翻喺 AI 人工智能嘅發展啦。咁今日就好榮幸邀請到阿 Patrick 啦，同埋阿 Samuel 就嚟到在場現場咁同大家分享翻你關於 AI 同埋 AI chatbot 嘅發展嘅。咁我哋首先邀請兩位 speaker 出嚟同我哋影張相先啦。
Do I need to speak English? Because
okay.
Yeah, maybe I can talk in English so that you can catch it. Okay.
Can everybody else speak English?
Yeah, sure. Yeah,
okay. Okay.
So I is it up to go? Okay. So hello. So yeah. I'm glad to be invited by WTIA to share about what we're doing in the AI field. And actually our company is called彼樂。If you search our company, actually you can see a lot of things about API, data economy, etc. But what we are doing is in AI perspective, then there's time for us to share more. So our theme today is from chatbot to agentic AI. Okay, so let me like that. Okay, so what is彼樂？So we are a very well-known company in AI space. So we help a lot of enterprise to expose their data and API to each other, and especially Science Park's STP API is actually empowered by us as well. And we are also empowering 2,000 API providers around the world. So the next step is, okay, Patrick, why you're here to talk about AI is that you are just another company telling that you do AI expert in just 1 year. It's not the truth. So I'm trying to share about our history. So this company has been founded for almost 10 years, I would say. 10 years ago, we started our one very niche product, which is called Tech. In that time, we are already doing AI. But at that time, it's not talking about Gen AI or LLM model. We are doing something like the AI algorithm for audio detections. And then because I'm actually a music lover, I'm also a bassist for a band. So we found that it's very difficult for people to teach music. So that, for example, not everyone can actually hire a private teacher to teach how to practice the music instrument in the proper way. So that we build this system and empower more than 150,000 students in music and learning program in English as well. So this system has been deployed to the leading edge publishers and also university in Hong Kong. Okay, so this is the first time we do our AI product. It's very different from nowadays, but this also set our insight about the AI perspective. And then in 2017, we are one of the earliest company to leverage IBM technologies called IBM Watson to do a chatbot. If you have some experience back to 2017 time, there's a lot of dummy chatbot happening in that time. So maybe some airport airline company launch chatbot, you can book flights and do the question and answer there. But at that time, it's still quite dummy, I would say, because at that time, those AI is mainly to detect your intent. So try to guess what you try to do, but the problem is they don't have the context. They don't understand the previous sentence you was asking. So that's why they're so stupid. And then you need to rely on the intent detected, just like this flow, you need to connect those things using the human method. So at that time, we try to do this, is like a big niche that we deploy to 50% of 50 hotels for their direct booking purpose, so that people can bypass the OTA to book their room, okay? But unluckily, we hit the COVID time, and then we shut down this product. Okay, and that's our part. talking about the open API because we feel that when we try to do the chatbot, we think we need to integrate a lot of systems. So even though you have a good AI chatbot, you still need to have a lot of capability exposed there. So we just turn our assets to become a platform called Open API, and this is the major achievement that we have done. And then we won multiple awards, and then I was telling we are empowering more than 2,000 API providers around the world, and empowering the STP Hub and also the Just Alliance, Hong Kong MAIADS, the Sample, etc. And this year, we try to push one more forward, is to launch the Fabrics AI. This is the local AI agent platform. But I'm not trying here to sell our product, but try to explain why we are moving towards this step. And this product is a graduate from AWS Gen AI Hong Kong Accelerator, and now is part of the Barclays Bank UK Accelerator as well. And we are helping some company like insurance company to do their AI agent automations for daily tasks. Okay, so back to our original topics. We are trying to talk about the chatbot to agent AI. So the major differences is our experience from 2017 to 2024. Okay, so I just want to highlight again, in the old day, chatbot like this. We need to detect their intent and then try to connect their flow. We try to guess what is the user journey of the chatbot flow. It's very, very painful because it's language. So it's an infinite possibility that you can input anything. So that's why you see a lot of chatbot nowadays is pressing button, okay, the prompt button, and try to restrict your choice, just like the nowadays the chatbot in banks. But we are also thinking it's just similar to the IVR. So you call a phone number, press 1. So it's there's nothing we feel that a lot of value added on that one. And then for the traditional chatbot, there's quite a few of restriction, like this rule-based, because we need to detect their intent and try to route their flow. And they, as I mentioned, most of them they don't have the contextual awareness. They don't know what you are asking in the first question. So if you are asking a similar one, for example, I tell them I have $5,000 and I want to check whether I'm eligible for something. After you pass one menu, the other menu, they actually forgot you have $5,000 in your account, okay? And talking about the low learning ability, it's not talking about it enrich themselves, but they don't have the context about learning from your conversation, what do you want to do. So if you try to map the current maybe ChatGPT experience, if you tell them that, okay, I'm not saying in that way. For example, oh, what is the weather today? Then they say, oh, it's sunny. Oh, and then you say, oh, I don't think it's sunny. Then they will try to tune, and then, or what should be the better response. So that's talking about the learning capability from the conversation, but not from the data itself, okay? And the last but not least, of course, is a fixed functionality. So if day one is for FAQ, then you can't expect that it can extend very easy, okay? So I try to go to the agent AI part here. I try not to go to a lot of technical detail, but I want to share. In nowadays, when we are doing agent AI, instead of flow diagram, you can see that there are different kind of state that we need to have to tune. For example, once the user is getting the messages, they need to think about, okay, as an agent, what should I do next? Maybe I need to respond certain answer. Maybe I need to look up some tool or data. They need to make some decision. So that makes the differences between the traditional chatbot and also agent AI. So this is the one thing, the task plan. And then they need to, because as you may have experienced in the early days with ChatGPT, they don't know how to calculate, they don't know how to do programming. So they need to call different kind of tool to help them to do those things. But when and why they need to call those things, it all depends on the planning task. So we need to educate them to go to the next step. Oh, they need to call API to external tool so that they can complete certain mission. And then they will come back and then see whether it's done and generate a response back. As you can see and compare with the previous one, there's not something linear. We need to educate them how to do the task more automatically. So this is the major difference from the traditional chatbot to the agent AI nowadays. So one thing is some are asking, oh, what is the major difference? Is these few years make this possible? I tried to steal the word from Jason from NVIDIA. Actually, he come Hong Kong last Saturday, and he mentioned one thing. Nowadays, AI can be a universal translator. So that's why, as I mentioned in the previous all day, the IBM Watson need to detect your intent. And based on intent, you need to do the logics. The now you don't need that. You can translate from one language to another language, from one more format to another format, or even from a chemical to a language. So this actually help you possible with this kind of agentic AI flow. Okay, so I try to break the previous diagram into this one. Okay, so you can see that for our agent, what they need to design and need to tune is from three perspectives. One is the memory. So you may heard about some model, maybe they have a larger context window, wherever. Is this actually relate back to my first problem back to the old days? How do they aware the previous conversation or information that you supplement? This help them to better understand what's the response. The second one is talking about the planning. We abstract that is that when a message come here, the agent try to plan that themselves. What should they do next? This one actually reflect they have different kind of step. It may be reflect themselves, or in some modern system or more complex agent, we have another agent to help them to reflect that, so that they can challenge whether their thinking or plan is actually better or good enough to release. Okay, so this is another one. And the last but not least, and also related to our foundation, talking about APIs, is that we need to educate agents to use the proper tool in the proper time. So this is the design pattern of nowadays agentic AI. It may sound a bit technical, but you can use this framework to think about nowadays when people tell you they are doing agentic AI system, what kind of perspective they are spending effort on. Okay, eventually, as a single agent, they can decide the action. But this is not the end, because nowadays, a lot of people thinking, I have a very giant model, I have a super agent that can solve anything, but it's not true. Because from our observation, also from research paper, one agent is good at one specific mission. So how to do a very complicated task? It will be a series of missions. And that's why we need to go for the multi-agent collaborations. This is a slide from Andrew Ng, and who is one of the expert in the field. This is some data here. If you try to use single agent versus multi-agent, the accuracy is actually increased significantly. And this is not talking about a separate model. It's just talking about same LLM. Ask them to role-play two agents. It's already having this kind of effect. So doing a better AI agent system is related to multi-agent collaboration and also flow. Okay, so I try to share about the foundation consideration about the agentic AI nowadays. And then back to our original statement. I mentioned that back to 2019, we found the Open Data Hub. The reason why we do that is we believe modern business is composed of these different API. We don't really develop everything from scratch. And then in 2023, we think that this is an AI. So how to enable API and AI to work together as an agent AI flow, this is something that we are spending most of our time nowadays. Okay, so I try to share about some handy cases that we are working with different clients, so that you have a better idea, okay, what kind of agent AI can be useful, and then maybe this can be an annotation about, okay, why we don't do it in a traditional IT methodology. For example, one thing we are working with an insurance company is that they're having a lot of random email sending to them for some claim, okay. You may ask, okay, how come we cannot ask those people to fill in the form? Okay, it depends on the culture, really, because they're kind using different kind of email structure. Even you ask them to provide some very rigid data, they don't follow the rule. So they have actually hundreds of people try to read this kind of email and fill in the internal form. And even worse is the form is not fixed, because installed mathematical model, they want to extract a lot of features that may be hidden within the email. So we help those the team to use the AI agent to read the email and extract the dynamical form filling for them. And this can actually help them to review more than 70% of the workforce. The second one is like with similar insurance company, I also learned from them nowadays, if they want to do some quotations, they need to learn from the occupation code. Okay, so they will justify the insurance quotation depends on your occupation. Maybe you are IT manager, okay, you're safe. But if you are something like a builder, then it's higher risk. But if they need to determine the code, it will require a lot of experience for those people to justify. But how can they speed up the training for the internal staff? So we help them to train up the AI agent using the insurance dictionary, and then become a co-pilot for those junior developers, junior customer support, so that they can cross-reference whether their justification is correct. So it helps them to further skill up those junior people and also make those things more scalable. And the third one is it's very typical. We are API company. I would say 70% of our company we talk to, they don't have a proper API portal. Okay, all of those API specifications or software specification is in Word document, Excel, wherever. It's very difficult for them to discover. So how we do that is that we actually can convert those kind of data source to get internal chatbot assistant for the developer to look up the information so that they can avoid we do something repeatedly, or actually they can save the effort. So this is another cases that we are working on as well. Okay, so to try to supplement this, that these are some joke about the deployment of AI system. I'm not sure whether someone heard about this one in the Taiwan, yeah. But I would say, okay, although it's maybe a joke, but as a technical person, we know there must be some reason here. And even if it's deployed to public or internal user, you can't really rely on those people to be self-disciplined because they don't know the system. They don't read the manual and then use the system. So we will say that if you need to deploy AI agents, gut you and building trust is very important, even to internal user. Because if you want to actually got some internal buy-in, when they use it, they think this is useful, it's very, very difficult to convince them in day two. Okay, so I want to link the example is that it's useless to ask people to self-discipline. You need to get prepared for that one. So to conclude about this quick sharing, from our experience, of course, we can see that if the agent AI deployed in a proper way is very great. But there's 5 points I want to share from our deep of our hearts. Is one, a lot of people say, okay, AI agent or AI have hallucination problem. Yes, and you can get rid of them. If you heard for someone that they can get rid of it, then let us know. It should not be happening. Because this is the features. This is how the model be trained. So the best you can do is to mitigate it. Okay. So you need to manage your expectation of that one. And the third one is that we ourselves use AI agent to do a lot of POC. And I can honestly tell you, it's very easy to do some quick POC, but very, very difficult to make it to production. Okay, so if you go to work with some people, they say, okay, I can do a quick POC in 2 days. Don't think another 2 days will be the production. It may be 2 months or 6 months. It's not only my experience, but in the LinkedIn engineering blog, they also shared how difficult they get the accuracy from 70% to 80%. Okay, so just get prepared for that one. And the fourth one is cost. Maybe you subscribe maybe POE or ChatGPT Plus or Team, you think it's cheap. But I would say those costs is subsidized. Don't use those costs to actually try to project for internal use. When you try to use the API, you will think that, okay, the cost is terrible. So try not to overload the underlying costs. Talking about the ongoing usage, maintenance, and expertise, etc. And last but not least is that nowadays everyone said it's AI, but we really think a lot of cases it can be solved by a simple method, just like programming, etc. You don't really need to enforce AI to everywhere. One quick example to conclude this sharing is that I saw a developer doing a CSV converter on AI. whenever they call it, the API call is actually 0.7 USD. So whenever you call it, 0.7 USD. But if you do a programming, you can call million times with the cost. So I try to do a quick conclusion, and hopefully I try not to talk a lot of things to tackle today, but I try to share our story and also what we have done before. If you are interested, feel free to talk to us about the experience. As I said, we have a platform called Fabrics AI. This is a platform that to do some quick POC and AI agent that can do by your own. But as I said, we think that for the real killer cases, you still need to have some expertise to tune that. So yeah, so if you're interested, feel free to connect with me and also try our platform. Okay, so thank you. So,
thank you 啊 Patrick 咁就帶為我哋講解咁多關於 AI agent 需要注意上嘅嘢啦。咁下一位咧，我哋有請阿 Samuel 就嚟自 ESRI China Hong Kong 嘅。
Hi everyone, and this is Samuel, and nice to meet you for the invitation. Yeah, so today I will, on behalf of my company, to share with you about AI in a perspective of geographical information system. And so maybe it's a little bit different because it is quite specialized to spatial data. But as a GIS company, we believe that many aspects in our life is about spatial. And no matter when you check on the location of the bus, or when you are mapping the asset of buildings, all is about spatial data. So from our perspective, we are evolving and trying to look at the technologies that help people to manage their data assets with the modern technology, including AI. And this is a quick background to talk about what GIS is. I think most of you have used the map on the mobile and to check the location. So this is one of the GIS functions. But for the holistic GIS system, we try to collect different kinds of data and help us to find the prediction, the trend, and to manage the data not only on a 2D map, but also across the time and spatial differences. So it also includes the integration with different databases and also the user experience, including the collection of data on the field, and also for the user how they could access the spatial data with interactive dashboard, or as I will talk about, is an AI agent. And so from our future, we hope that for GIS, different customers, they could deploy their spatial system on no matter on premises, or private cloud, or on a public cloud, and they could help the operation daily. So we have also engaged with different governments and also commercial sector from transportation, utilities, and different sectors. So for today, I will not go down to talk about our company products, but to give some discussion or insight how spatial integrates GIS. AI. Yeah, so this is one more slide to talk about what GIS actually cater. We not only cater about the XY location or the lat long if you're checking on the map on the website, but we also talk about, for example, for the 3D data, as you may have heard about the terms of digital twins, which many different customers, or sorry, for the governments, they also ask for some from the construction industry, they need to hand over their data, and most of them related to the construction progress that need to show what is the 3D, the real status of their construction sites. And so that's why we also have a BIM and CAD data. And also, because they need to capture the project status quickly, so they also may have some kind of, for example, we're not sure here, we have the point cloud data or the fossil data which is about underground. Yeah, but there's many data, so how we can manage them and how to present them, that we will use about the AI and also other data analytic function to help our clients. Yeah. So let's jump to today's key topic about Geo AI. Yes, because you can see that the Geo, so our AI is mainly about the mapping. Yeah, so our intention of GeoAI is to help people to first to see the data more easily. So as you can see that from the left upper corner, we have different kind of AI functions is about the detection. So because in our geographical perspective, our traditional AI is about the leveraging data on remote sensing. For example, the satellite imageries and also the aerial photos, and help people to identify, for example, you need to check how many houses or car parks that can be captured within a specific areas. Because, so I think in Hong Kong we also do some POCs, but this is really common or is really broadly adopted in the foreign area. Because from our company, our R&D is based on American, so this is larger scale area. So when they want to do the data collection, they don't want to do in person and go to everywhere or take a lot of time. But by using the AI object detection on GIS, they could just finish the task with a very small time. Yeah. So maybe for some information that would more relevant to us is about to read the data and map the data. So at the middle, this is talking about the data extraction from the text. For example, I think sometimes you may have clients to give you information in unstructured text that contain maybe location data and also other attributes. So rather need you to do a manual export or editing, you can have integrate with natural language complex model to help you to separate the data by locations and also other key attribute or classes. So on our GIS map, you just need to give the raw data and we will process it. Yeah. So I will not go by each one, but the overall perspective is that our model help you to cater your raw data and put this as a right purposes on the map. Yeah. So we have different kind of pre-trained AI model. That is, as I mentioned, we traditionally talk about the remote sensing images. So from ESRI, we have developed many kind of models that detecting the location asset or different kind of asset management about the natural resources. For example, the classifying the tree location or the building location or the objects that you want to classify. So due to the imagery of remote sensing, we have different kind of models that focus on different kind of 3D data. Yeah, so I think one of the most also really discussed as we also in the Hong Kong market is talking about motion imagery. Yeah, because we have, for example, we have plans to do this 4S system, the smart safety system or management system. One of their concerns is to manage the entry or also the security of the cars with the authorized vehicles. So traditionally we may have a security guard to stand by, but they want to look for a solution that could be run 24/7 automatically. So we also have a motion imagery and multi-object detection system to track the location of the car, to identify the car plates and register the information on a GIS. So just to give one more detailed example, this is a new model we integrate with the segment anything model. And so because in our GIS perspective, traditionally it's about point data, but nowadays we have different clients have different requirements. For example, here you can see that this is a company which is managing the oil tank, and they may need to map all the data of the oil tank with exact shape, and they want to capture this information by using aerial photo and convert it into a vector graphic map. And so instead of needing to draw it hand by hand and cater maybe thousands of this kind of sample, we have a model that can let them to identify which objects they need to detect. Yeah, so this time is about a circular plants, but later if they want to detect, for example, the houses or other, for example, windows, and we can all just leverage the same model and they can extract the data and map it on the GIS system. Yeah. So this is also a video to further illustrate. And to reflect this model, we for this sample, for the foreign countries or for a larger area location, this is widely adopted. For example, you see there is a large space of cases. But we also have sample cases which is in, maybe I'll jump to here. It's about, we have also do a test case with Hong Kong International Airport, which we want to use the AI to map their inventory of the manholes in different markets. Yeah, but maybe you will ask why they need to do that. Suppose they will have an inventory. And yes, they have an inventory, but they want to update it. So by using our technologies, we help them to use the aerial photo, and we just use around 3 hours to help them to map all the manholes and data from our aerial photos. So all we need to do is just do 1 hour of training sample data, and the model training is about 5 minutes and just 2 hours of result validation. And this is really much shorter than a 40 hours process when you need to do piece by piece data extraction by the manual effort. Yeah, so this is one of the cases that will show how the AI or GIS could help. And another thing is about, we will talk about is the LiDAR data. I think maybe some of you are using the drone when you're in the free time to take the photos and videos. But in the industrial use and many clients will also use the drone to capture the real-world model by using not only the photos but also the LiDAR data. Because for LiDAR data, you can capture very detailed 3D texture and shape. Yeah, but most of the time, the clients they may not have a very high-grade drone. They just have a photogrammetry drone. So in GIS, we could have a model by using for example, the point CNN model based on the Python to help them to classify the raw point cloud data into, for example, building and also vegetation data. And in further, our GIS will transform these AI analytic results to a realistic 3D model, as you can see from the right-hand side. It's about a building with facade and also the colors. So this kind of information is based on our ready-to-use library on the 3D GIS. And some other quick demo, which is also we engaged by this customer from the power grid line in Hong Kong. And this is very useful that they use the point cloud data to 3D models their power line assets. Yes, this is the case in foreign, but in Hong Kong, this is also quite useful because you know that the power line sometimes will be quite far away, and it's difficult to have people to carry the LiDAR scanning device and walk on the mountain. So when they use the drone and capture on this point cloud and on GIS, we can help them to map the model on exact basis. So at the last two parts, we'll give 2 more samples on how GIS we integrate with the AI model. Yeah. One of the parts we always talk about AI or GIS is about the traffic management. Here, as you can see, that this is one of the samples that we have adopted, and also people who are interested is to know for a particular junction, how many cars they have crossing by, and what is the categories of the cars, and after gathering this information, people should like to know the hotspots of the traffic junction, because they try to see if this is places with a healthy usage, that may indicate that there's some maintenance work they need to address more on the particular area. So instead of asking for manual effort on counting cars, we have this solution that help people to calculate all these vehicles by using the CCTV feeds. And this process could be in real time to calculate the car. And also we try to use this, we also apply these modules in the Hong Kong context. As you can see that we are extracting the data from the transport department, and this is also quite useful. You can see that we can classify the cars and also by the categories that showed the hotspots of the traffic. So for the clients, if they are working on the industry that need to cater the traffic information nearby, for example, the logistic arrangement or the delivery of the goods, this would be quite useful for them to have a holistic view on the traffic in just a second. So another part is about the, for example, the road maintenance. This is also really useful because, as you may know, that for the maintenance provider, they need to ensure that there's a good condition along the road. And nowadays, we also leverage use GIS, but the data source about the oriented imageries, that we have AI modules integrated on it, and then we capture the location of the, for example, the crack or the manhole, and they can map this data on the map. So this can reduce manual efforts by doing the daily tracking on work orders. That will save us sufficient cost of time. So for the previous part, I'm talking about the AI that's through the data analytics. And for this second part, I will talk about the AI agents and assistants. And to be frank, and as a GIS, we traditionally do the data analytics, but to catch the trend, and also we want to improve our data using experience, we also leveraging the large language model. For example, here this is our web platform that's to generate smartphone that with mapped elements. And this kind of form is usually used by, for example, the site surveyors or some kind of site surveying. So in a traditional workflow, the user need to define the question by themselves, but now they just need to give a sentence, for example, to generate a site inspection form. So on our software, the GIS could automatically generate a form with a specific question types, and also the map elements. So after collecting the information, we can also develop a data hub that allow people to search data from the web platform. So one of the examples in Hong Kong would be the CSDI, if you have visited. And in the future, So in the future, we also, if it's allowed to do this, we are looking for contributed by giving the AI assistant. And because for the users, the new users of GIS, they have plenty of data on the data hub. But with the AI assistants, maybe I'll just go to this area. And you can see that this is a chat box. The left-hand side is the chat box, and to help them to do the data collection. For example, I want to know the tree layers in Hong Kong, and they would of the tree layers, and they would help. For example, I want to filter a certain type of trees. So all these kind of queries could be typed as a natural language on the chat form, and on a GIS map, you will extract the certain data and allow the users to download this. So this technologies is we are is in the it's about we have some pilots, but also we're developing, and we hope that in the future, on a GIS perspective, we will help our users to leverage the GIS data in models and smarter sensors. Yeah, so I think this is all my presentation and sharing today. Because it's quite specific to the GIS, I hope my sharing could give all of you a sense of how AI is related to the geographic information system, and really give you some insight on your daily operation about spatial data. Thank you.
多謝兩位師太分享啦。咁其實而家就分享我哋又完㗎啦。咁其實我哋有 Q&A session， 如果有問題嘅話就可以舉手問嘅。大家有冇問題？咁如果冇嘅話，我有啲問題想問 Patrick 嘅，因為其實你啱最後尾你有個 point 就講到話其實專業 AI 嗰度啲成本上係會需要留意啊。係啦，咁如果啲公 公司佢哋想話去研發呢一或者 AI， 或者佢哋想揾公司去幫手合作，咁你對佢嘅意見係會係有啲咩意見俾到佢哋做參考成果
？OK， 好。即係我嘅意見就係其實要你用揾咗個 use case 出嚟咧，係睇翻個成本，因為你知 AI 用嘅位置可以 amplify 咗一啲人力嘅 effort 嘅，即係佢倍大緊嘅一啲人力成本，即係點講，將佢減低嘅。咁如果你嗰件事你有其他 alternative way 現行係 OK 嘅話咧，其實我見到好多時候都未必需要。呢個就需要導 AI 埋嘅，但係其實因為頭先所講啦，你要第一你要 host 個 model，你要揾一啲新嘅人喺變天啊，我揾 partner 咩嗰啲即係 niche skill 嚟嘅，其實都一條三大嘅。咁所以其實最緊要都係揾翻清楚個 use case 先。第二樣嘢就但係都舉例嘅，其實我哋的確都有啲 case 就係做啲好簡單嘅嘢。咁你話我揾人寫 program 咪得咯，但係其實可能喺某啲公司咧，會覺得。我揾人寫，我要請個 developer， 我唔想養。咁佢只要計得到嗰個 ROI， 其實都好傳統嘅，計得到 ROI 咧，其實就問題不大㗎啦。所以如果你問我 engage 一間GenAI 公司，我見到咧，唔係用 GenAI 嘅角度去諗佢，係翻用一個 use case 角度，我現有一個方法，可能人力成本嘅，可能用人做嘅，或者我 programmer 做嘅，拎嚟 assess 翻究竟用 GenAI 係邊度會改善咗先。係啦，咁呢個都係好基本，我諗係 business case 嗰個分享咯。咁而第二真係就係做一個 POC，即係頭先所講啦。其實 GenAI 有個特性，我覺得好好嘅，就係好容易做 POC。做完咗之後咧，就將你啲幻想破滅咗先，係啊，然後再尋驗究竟你有冇需要做呢件事。咁所以我睇出咧，我嘅 suggestion 就係咁樣樣咯。
好，多謝 Patrick。咁另外 Samuel 咁其實好彩嚟嘅，咁啱咧，其實我哋上兩個禮拜度啦，其實有去到你哋空間實驗室度做一個參觀嘅，係啦，咁我都發現咧，其實當初我哋有好多嘅，即係我哋有個 CSDI Award， 係啦，咁佢哋有相關類似嘅獎項啦，咁我見佢哋其實好多都用咗我哋 ESRI 嗰個 system 嘅。係啦，咁我都想問一問，其實除咗呢啲相關嘅 system 用到，即係唔到你哋 system 之外，咁你哋仲要推介啲咩行業啊，或者係你覺得有啲乜嘢相關嘅 potential 嘅 client 都可以用到你哋 system 咧？
其實都多嘅，因為我哋其實觀察到好多唔同嘅 client， 即係用到空間數據啦，係啦，咁其實都需要一個平台。即係咁講，其實我哋 GIS 我哋其實都嗰時兼顧咗唔同 API， 攞翻唔同嘅 data， 就好似頭先可能 mention 過，但係嚟 construction 啦，或者係一啲嘅project 去做 digital twins， 係啦，咁 digital twins 未必係即係可能好 specific 係講某一個行業，可能係純粹係要將一啲 digital data 去放到 web 度，咁但係當中有好多唔同嘅即係 API 攞翻一啲嘅 XY 嘅資訊庫，咁其實都有可以用到嘅咁樣。咁但係如果你話即係比較即係呢年多啲嘅新啲，可能就無論係即係 construction 建造業上邊一啲嘅數碼化啦，或者而家嚟緊會講可能係啲即係加經濟啦，係啦，去聽一啲嘅環境點樣喺唔同地方去做個 flight path， 咁其實呢啲我哋都可以去涉獵到，亦都有啲 solution 去幫大家。
多謝晒，咁我哋條片咧稍後咧都會擺上網嘅，咁如果網上面嘅觀眾有啲咩問題想問翻 Patrick 或者 Samuel 咧，都可以 email 或者係會歡迎聯絡翻我哋 WTIA 啦，我哋都會將問題轉介翻俾相關嘅 speaker 嘅。咁今日嘅 workshop 就到今日結束啦，就多謝大家。